And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel. Today we're taking a look at a game called Bargain Quest. Bargain Quest, which is a game about you being a store owner and selling items to adventurers who come through, who will then go out and fight monsters in battle. This actually reminds me very much of kind of mobile style games. This is a drafting game though. I love drafting style games. Let's see how it plays. Each player is going to take their shop. This is just actually a cool board. It opens like this. You have your display area, employees, upgrades, and then this down here basically tells you the turns of the game. So at the beginning of each of the rounds of the game, you're going to draw some hero cards equal to the number of players. Let's say there's 4 players. We'll turn them over. We have a rogue, a mage, a fighter, and a cleric. And each of these guys and gals is going to come with a certain amount of money that they have. So we're going to put them down here like this, and we're going to put that money on them to show that the cleric here has 15 and 20 and 25 for the rogue to spend. Meanwhile, you're going to be setting up some monsters here that everyone's going to be fighting here. And at the beginning of the round, you'll flip it over and we're fighting a bandit captain. There's going to be 3 monsters, a 1, 2, and a 3 that are chosen from a deck of larger cards. And these are the monsters that these heroes are going to be going out to fight, and I'm going to be getting some equipment to sell them. Players are then going to be drawing from this big item deck. They're going to be taking 4 cards and they're going to be drafting. By this I mean you're going to be taking one and putting it face down and passing them to the next person. That person's going to be passing you 3 cards and you'll be picking one of those, and so on and so forth until everyone has 4 cards. Then players are going to decide which of these cards, of these items that they've taken, they're going to put in their display area. So each card is wanted for use by different classes. So we have mage, rogue, fighter, and cleric. And the game is actually set up so that they're all going to be, those 4 are going to be the first ones to show up. But there's different characters. Some of them are multi-class, and we'll use different items that will show up over the course of the game. So I'm going to pick an item for the display. This is not an item I'm going to be selling people. This is just an item I'm trying to get to have them come in. And these hearts on the side, plus these symbols here, is what's going to attract people to come to my store. Once these cards are here, everyone's going to look at the number of hearts, and whoever has the most hearts is going to choose what hero they want to come, but that hero has to match one of these. So if I have the most hearts, for example, I'll pick the mage. The mage will come to my store. Now I'm going to look at the mage, and it says when this hero enters your shop, draw 1 card from the item deck, then discard 1 card from your hand. Okay, great. So I'll draw a card from here, and I'll just discard that battle axe because that mage can't use that battle axe anyway. If there's a tie for who has the most hearts, you'll look at the price. Now, if it's your turn to draft a hero and there's no heroes that match these items, you basically go last. You have to wait till everyone else is gone, and then you can still take someone and bring them into your store along with their money. Then you're going to be able to sell that person as many items from your hand as you want, but that person is limited. So this mage has 20 coins. I look at my hand and wait, the mage can't use this, can't use this. He can only use the shadow elixir. And so I sell that to the mage. I give it to the mage, and the mage will give me 5 of the coins that they have. Yay! So I got some money off that. So if you have some pricey things, you might be able to sell it to people. So as we look through here, there's all sorts of different items. I mean, the cool goggles, the mage would have taken those. They don't help the mage at all, but you know, whatever. I'm just trying to get the money from the mage maybe. Or maybe I want to sell the mage's ancient relic, which will give him +2 attack and +2 defense. Or holy water, well, the mage can't use that. So you can see there's all sorts of different items in here. Some are useful, some are not, but I'm just trying to sell them and get them money from that adventurer. Each adventurer then is going to go out against it. So let's say this fighter here has a short bow. So the fighter has a 4 attack and a 4 defense. And this mage, which I showed the shadow elixir to, has a 3 attack and a 3 defense. And they're going to be going up against the bad guy here. Everyone does it. So I'm going to be looking at each of these. Each player has their own hero that goes out and fights. Then you'll draw a card randomly from this deck shuffled each round, and add it. So the fighter here gets Valiant, so he is a 5 attack and 5 defense, and I draw an unlucky, so I'm 2 attack and 2 defense. You then compare, each person compares their attack to the toughness of the monster. In this case, the monster has a toughness of 4, so 5 beats 4, so the monster gets a wound, and the player who controls this person gets a victory point. 2 is not enough to beat it, so nothing happens. Then the monster attacks back. So there's a 3 attack, 5 defense. He survived. So whoever owns that gets another victory point. And this person has only 2 defense, so they're going to die and you get no victory point. If they hadn't got unlucky, maybe they would have got something like calm, where there's a 3 attack. 3 does not exceed that, so I would have survived and got a victory point. Then we see if the monster has been defeated or not. If there are wounds on the monster equal to the number of players in play, then the monster is defeated and each surviving character would get that much money. If the monster is not defeated, then each surviving player gets the money in the bottom left corner. So you can see the bandit captain will give 20 and 10. The level 2 giant spider is 25 and 15. And then the level 3, which happens to be a huge dragon, will end the game if you defeat it, or give 20 if not defeated. That money doesn't go to the players, it goes to these adventurers who will come back into town. The adventurers, though, will discard everything. They lose all their weapons and all these cards, and they'll go on and come back, possibly for someone else to equip them and get them ready for the next time. Players will continue doing this until the 3rd character has been defeated, at which point the game ends. In between rounds, players are allowed to keep one of the cards that they drafted in storage. They're going to get rid of the rest and draft more, but you'll have an extra card for the next time. However, players also have the opportunity to upgrade. So you can always buy a +1 display upgrade, which lets you display more items, which will give you a higher heart value and let you get people first. Or you can get a storage upgrade, which allows you to store more than one card. Both of these can be upgraded to displaying 2 extra things or storing 2 extra things. But there's also a deck here of employees which you can buy, which will give you special abilities. A weaponsmith here gives different heroes a +1 attack or an end defense. The sales clerk here, when selling items to a hero, you can raise or lower the price of an item card by 5. And so there are various different employees that you can have that will give different things. The marketeer lets you add a card from your hand to the display and then discard this. You can sell 1 item in your display to a hero in your shop, then discard it. So some of these can only be used once. Take up to 15 from a hero in your shop, then discard. So you can buy these, or you can buy these and upgrade your area between rounds. I'm a big fan of how these market boards are laid out. You just open them up, and inside each one, I mean, they're all the same essentially, but they just look nice. I like the artwork. It looks like the inside of a shop, and yet it also acts as a very nice board there. The artwork on the items and stuff, I mean, this is your generic fantasy style artwork, but the card quality is really well done, and I especially like the artwork on the monsters. You know, here we have the Goblin Chief, Garbage Troll, Vampire Queen, Demon Prince. And these are neat, so there's some variety here because you're going to have a different 1, 2, and 3 each round of the game. The coins are fine quality. You know, you got 5s, 10s, and 20s. The symbols are not hard to understand. We're not normally, scrounging and trying to figure out what everything is. And the rule book was really easy and explained everything. Now, one of the benefits of this game of Bargain Quest is that it plays up to 6 players and does so pretty well. I'm usually kind of shy with these style games, like, I don't know how many extra players we want. But with 6 players, because it's drafting and everyone fights the monster simultaneously, and there's a lot of stuff going on, I mean, it's probably maybe a little better with 4, just because that thing you want, there's a good chance someone else will beat you to it with 6 players. But I like it. It works really well, and there's enough different cards and different monsters that the theming feels pretty strong. Now, there is some luck to the game. Those adventure cards that you flip over, sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're not. You need to know kind of what's in that deck. You saw that the one gave a +1, the other one gave a -1. There's even awesome +2. Sometimes there's reckless, +2 attack, -1. Most of them are positive. There's a few that are slightly negative, and there's the one that you saw, -1, I think is probably the worst in there. But that is luck. And that's how adventurers are. You're an adventurer, but that's how you get points in this game too. You can get so caught up in the money, like, oh, I'm selling money and I'm getting the money here and I'm getting money from these guys to be able to sell stuff. And money is worth points, right? I mean, you're trying to get these points, but at the end of the game, you're going to score points for every $10 that you have. So you could try to get a lot of money that way, but having them get points for beating the monster or surviving the monster also will matter as time goes by. There's also some rules in the game that if nobody wounds the monster, it takes a wound anyway because you somehow all manage to hurt it. Or in a 5 or 6 player game that you will do 2 wounds to it because it takes longer to kill the monster. So the game isn't going to drag out too long. And really this game feels like it's just the right length. I'm pretty happy with this one. There's not many complaints other than I think the box is kind of small. There's a lot of stuff in it. I wish the box was slightly bigger. But I'm very happy with it. I like that it handles 6 players. I like the drafting. It's pretty simple. It's very thematic too. Those upgrades, it's really tough to figure out which ones to pick. I tend to like storing cards from round to round. But having more cards to display means everyone else will constantly be beating me to pulling people in their shops. And then there's those employees. Sometimes the employees are great. Sometimes they're one shot. And so that spending money to upgrade is a neat thing, but you're also essentially spending victory points. So what's the best thing to do? And then the different adventurers do various things and stuff. There's a lot of variety in a small arena. The game is just that, essentially a drafting game, trying to outguess other people as to who they're going to try to pull into their shop. And I like it. I think Bargain Quest is a really solid game. Definitely check it out. Dice Tower Judgment, approved!
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.